Hi, today we are going to talk about presentational skills, basically the tools and techniques that help you communicate clearly and confidently in front of an audience. Whether you're giving a speech in class, maybe like this one, or presenting a project, or even just speaking up in like a meeting or at work or in your family, strong presentational skills can make a huge difference in how your message is received. So first thing I want to talk about is posture and body language. Let's go ahead and start with the body language piece first. How you carry yourself says a lot before you even use words. Standing tall, keeping your shoulders down, and facing your audience shows confidence, and maybe even like a strong stance. I'm sure you've heard of like a power stance. Something like that shows that you're confident in what you're talking about and builds your credibility from the first minute your audience sees you. So to maintain this credibility, I suggest avoiding doing things like crossing your arms or fidgeting too much because it can be distracting. I'll have some students you can't see me because I'm not standing right now, but who will stand in a video and like kind of sway back and forth the whole time they're speaking. I recognize that this might be like an anxiety-based thing or like a natural body movement that they do, but it can be super distracting from the message. So even simple gestures like moving your hands to emphasize a point can make a huge difference in the engagement with your presentation. The second thing I'd like to discuss is eye contact. So looking at your audience rather than just like staring at notes or staring at the floor, which I've had students do both. I totally get it. It's nerve-wracking, it's crazy, maybe it's new to you, but making eye contact helps build connection and rapport with your audience. You don't need to lock eyes with one person in particular and be creepy. Just make sure that you're scanning the room or your virtual room if you're doing like a Zoom meeting with an audience member or two in the video. Eye contact definitely like signals confidence and keeps your audience involved. It lets them know that you see them and you want them to understand what you're saying. And they'll often like give it back to you. They'll like reciprocate. Next is voice and clarity. So your voice is another very powerful tool. Speaking clearly at a moderate pace is usually best. And honestly, don't be afraid to use pauses. See, there was a pause there. Often a pause is so much better than saying or which we consider filler words. Rather, if you lose your train of thought, pause. Collect your thoughts and return to what you're talking about. Also, pausing gives your audience time to absorb what you've said and might even add emphasis to key points. Also, varying your tone keeps your speech interesting. Like I've mentioned, monotone delivery can really lose attention quickly. So now that we've got like, how are we going to stand? How are we going to interact with the audience? What are we going to sound like? Who are we going to look at? Let's talk about organization and structure. So even the most confident speaker won't be effective unless their speech is organized. So that's why having an outline, whether it's mental or written, for this class it needs to be written, but whatever that looks like, the organization is key. So make sure you have a clear introduction, body, and conclusion to everything you're saying. One concept that helps with this, I suppose, with organization are transition phrases, or maybe even a concept called signposting your ideas. This lets your audience know when you're moving from one point to the next. It helps them follow along and keep the presentation on track. It could be something as simple as, next, let's talk about practice and presentation. See, signpost, a transition statement. Well, finally, practice is everything. Rehearse your speech out loud, ideally in front of somebody else, or you could even video yourself and watch it later if that works better for you. The more familiar you are with your content, the more naturally you're going to deliver it. Preparation also includes knowing your audience and anticipating questions they might have. So in this class, we are doing presentations for college students, right? So you might think about, okay, this is somebody who's in a phase of their life where they're learning maybe a lot of new information or being challenged with ideas. Let me know my audience, potentially the age group, the experience, whatever, and let me cater what I'm saying to make sure it interests and affects that audience specifically. So to sum it up, strong presentational skills combine confident body language, clear voice, meaningful eye contact, organized content, and plenty of practice. Remember that you don't need to be perfect. Everyone gets nervous sometimes. You've probably heard me stumble over words in this video, and I'm even a teacher of this. But using the strategies that I've shared earlier in this speech will definitely help you communicate more effectively and make a lasting impression. So next time you're getting ready to speak, maybe in this class, another class, in my videos, try focusing on one or two of these skills at a time and notice how it changes the way your audience responds.